Hi, my name is Taylor with TobbiCo-Host, joined with my partner Aiden. We specialize in maximizing your Airbnb revenue while taking all the busy day-to-day tasks out of management. Today we're talking about 5 crucial mistakes to make when listing and launching your Airbnb. These are extremely important, so stick along. We're going to get right into it, starting with pricing. Pricing is I cannot stress enough how important this is. There's been so many times where I've heard horror stories of Airbnb owners who start their pricing and it's way, way lower than it's supposed to be. And whether that's by mistake or they just weren't aware of the correct pricing, the problem is when people see your listing and they see that it's underpriced, you're going to get a ton of bookings way undervalued. And sure, you can cancel them, but if you cancel a bunch of listings right off the bat, I mean, it's over for you. Your listing is going to get flagged. You're probably going to get it removed. It's going to be really, really bad. So I cannot stress enough how important pricing is in mastering it right out of the gates. It's something that we at TobbiCo-Host specialize in, making sure we know that market research, we know the correct pricing, and we're going to hit it hard. So pricing is the number one mistake you can make. You need to make sure that you're doing that right. The second most important thing is photos. Aiden, why do you think photos is so important in today's short-term rental world? And with getting your Airbnb launched, why are photos one of the most important things to get right?
Well, I saw a statistic today that read you're 40% more likely to have your Airbnb booked when you have professional photos versus non-professional photos. So photos are everything. The purpose of photos is that it's supposed to highlight the beauty, the uniqueness, and all the amenities and features of your Airbnb. So you really want your photos to highlight what your Airbnb has to offer. If you have poor photos that don't show what all is offered with your Airbnb, you're less likely to get bookings. So photos are really important. It's important to put that investment into the listing by really taking professional photos, either doing them yourself if you're a professional photographer or hiring someone trusted. Yeah, photos are absolutely important. And that brings me to the next thing. Speaking of amenities, I would say, is that third thing, the next really important thing for an Airbnb. And this is a mistake that a lot of Airbnb hosts make. And this kind of ties into photos coincidentally because you need good photos of your amenities. But I just wanted to ask you, Taylor, why do you think amenities is something that's often missed? And what are your thoughts on this as a topic?
So there's 2 rules of thumb for amenities. You either forget to put your amenities on the Airbnb amenities list, or you don't have the proper amenities, period, for your Airbnb. Think about things like a hair dryer, a Keurig coffee machine. These are things that are extremely important. They're the bare minimum necessities that you need to have for your Airbnb. And a lot of times, people will have all sorts of amenities and they won't even be listed. And it's really hurting you because one of the things that Airbnb ranks extremely highly in their algorithm is what amenities you have. Airbnb, they take a holistic approach of how they're ranking you, and you've got to hit it on all cylinders. You have to have good pricing. You have to have good photos. You have to make sure all of your amenities are listed. You have to have all of the descriptions filled out. So you have to be doing everything. And I mean, the amenities are huge. It's what people are looking at when they're booking your cabin. They want to make sure that they have these things available to make sure that they're going to be comfortable for their stay. Yeah, amenities, I mean, cannot stress enough again how important this is. Communication. Now, this is another big one. Communication is extremely important. Aiden and I, with TobbiCo-Host, we put a lot of time and energy into making sure we nail the communication with our Airbnbs. Aiden, why do you think communication is crucial, and why can it ultimately hurt you if you don't get it right?
I think in a business where 5-star reviews are everything, communication is one of those make or break tools that can either really help you or really hurt you. At the end of a guest's stay, they are rating the Airbnb on a variety of factors, one of which is communication. So if they feel like you're not a communicative host, they're going to score you low in that category, and that's going to affect the overall rating of your listing. And this is important because people really like 5-star reviews. People really like to book Airbnbs that are rated well. And if they see that the host is not communicative, they're less likely to book. And think about it. If you were planning a trip with a group of 5 people, if you're planning a family trip, if you were planning a vacation with your wife, if you were planning vacation with your friends, you would want the host to be responsive to you. So it's incredibly important that people are on top of their communication. And one thing I'll add to this is that you can always automate where you can. So consider automated messaging in the times where it makes sense. You don't want to be too robotic with it. People like communicating with another human being, but there are tools available to you as an Airbnb host. So if you really need to figure out a way for your messaging to work with your schedule, take advantage of the tools available to you as an Airbnb host. Taylor,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you had anything to add on communication. I just wanted to turn it over to you if so.
No, I don't. You said it well. Communication is so important. You have to nail that. One of the things that you're being rated on with an Airbnb is your communication score. It's one of the biggest things. And again, it's an easy way to get your listing taken down if you get too many poor communication ratings. This brings us into our last piece. One of the most important, also one of the most forgotten, and that is local laws and regulations. This is a big one. Every market is different, and generally speaking, the more Airbnb popular markets also tend to have more regulations because when there are tons and tons of Airbnbs in a small vicinity, the city generally likes to put their hand in things. They like to control things, and ultimately they like to make themselves as much money off of it as possible. So making sure you're paying the local taxes accordingly. A lot of markets will make you pay taxes on a monthly basis. Tourism, business, administrative taxes, as well as certain licenses that you'll have to have. So there's a lot of things, and you could innocently make a mistake here and cost yourself thousands of dollars and even get your license revoked or suspended permanently. So it is a huge deal. It's one of the less fun things to talk about because, I mean, who wants to pay their local taxes and pay $600 for an annual license? But it's a part of the game. It's a part of it. There's no way around it, and it is one of the biggest mistakes ultimately that you can make if you look over it. So that's what we have today. Aiden, what else do you have to add to this?
I was just going to add to that last point of laws and regulations. Research is king in this. You really want to research an area before purchasing an Airbnb or investing in an Airbnb there, because you don't want to be left with fines. You don't want to be left with a property that has all these regulations tied to it that you as a host don't feel comfortable managing. Research is king. It's absolutely important that you do your research so you understand what type of fees you might be accountable for, what type of taxes you might be accountable for, what the relevant rules and regulations are. Research is king to understand all of that.
Yeah, totally agreed. Well, that's going to do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. We're going to be posting free, valuable content like this all the time. If you want to book a strategy call with us, one thing that we do at TobbiCo-Host is we do free Airbnb optimization consultations where we basically talk with you and we'll walk through your Airbnb. We'll take a look at it. We'll give you advice on what we think you could improve on, what we would do differently. So go ahead, the link will be in the description. But like I said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.